In the last module, we covered how spiritual bypassing is often used to ignore the darker attributes of the self in order to feel better, why the concept of mind over matter is often misleading, the default interactions between the mind and the body, and how emotions run the system and why regulation of them is imperative. In this section, we will cover why accepting the truth of matter over mind makes a difference. Let's go ahead and take a mental review at our last module. Remember that the conscious mind believes itself to be all three minds, therefore applying the definitive meaning, plus becoming the mental mind which emits thought, and the subconscious mind which feels the frequency. So the default of the basic conscious mind believes it is first to receive any emotional cues and assigns the meaning, reason, or story, while also disassociating from the body, yet believing it is the matter of thought within, and claiming to be the head, which is disconnected from the body, but also ruling and shaming it. Instead, the conscious mind is the last to receive the emotional cues that the subconscious soul frequency emits. For instance, if a body has been conditioned to sensing frequencies of anxiety that have been repeatedly labeled previously as fear, the emotional charge releases chemicals from the brain that trigger the receptors to prompt the parasympathetic nervous system to prepare the defense program of fight, flee, freeze, or fawn. This process occurs so simultaneously that our basic conscious mind believes it received the message first, applied the correct meaning, which then generated the feeling, causing the body to simply follow suit due to the external pressures of sensory overload. However, by the time the conditioned frequency previously labeled reaches the conscious mind to apply new meaning, the subconscious system has already sent an emotional frequency, warning the brain to alert the body and activate the default protection program previously designed, thus disassociating itself from the conscious mind. With the chemical reaction already heightened and then activated, the conscious mind is denied the momentary opportunity to confirm, judge, decide, or apply new meaningful identity based on the conflicting circumstantial frustrations of the previously created fixed states of being of both the internal and external environments, making reactive impulses difficult to avoid. During this dissociative state, the brain and body continue sending and retrieving seemingly appropriate meanings previously assigned, triggering additional frequencies and thus generating even more impulsive reactions. While this looping emotional upheaval persists internally between the brain and the body, reflecting externally in the real world, the conscious mind remains an ignorant victim to the seemingly sabotaging self-conscious mind within that is stirring and screaming for the attention of an aligned inherent connection between the mind, body, and spirit. Once emotions have settled within the system, the conscious mind regains awareness and has opportunity to review the order of events, correct or not. After analyzing the body's reactive behavior, the conscious mind offers a contemplative application of reinforced meaning, regurgitating the declared identity of a fixed state. This retrospective application causes the system to lock in additional layers of reason, justifying the previous impulsive reactions, thus excusing the self, or the conscious mind, from any blame while inherently shaming the reactions of the physical system. This provides the opportunity for the conscious mind to deny and avoid any blame or responsibility for creating the self-sabotaging fixed identity in the first place, and instead externally project that something or someone else made them be, feel, or act this way. Remember, the mind over matter concept works against the nature of our physical makeup and is the exact opposite of how we should be approaching our humanity. The subconscious mind, in order to settle and regulate, requires proof, and that proof is found through trust and safety within the body first, and its environment second. We often believe if we could only think deep enough to find the reasons for the triggers, that we could heal them, when really, if we would just listen to the body long enough for the emotion to float up, it will free itself. But how do we think of what we cannot find, and how do we listen when there is no time? Knowing how to tap into the subconscious mind of the shadow self is the key to relieving the hidden hold it has on your daily life. So how do we flip the equation and apply matter over mind, body over brain, and regulation over reaction? We must begin as we began, with our biology. And our biology outside of the womb was activated by the breath that first called forth our initial state of mind, the awareness itself. To do this, we must first focus on the truth of natural order and adjust ourselves accordingly, moving the breath within the matter from bottom to top or the inside out. One deep breath helps harness our own awareness. The more we focus on filling our matter with it, the more access we have to ascended dimensions of awareness upon awareness upon awareness, and so on. So what are these 13 dimensions of ascended states of awareness that we have access to should we want them? Let's begin with the awareness of the physical body. Hamartiology is basically the original sin or the fear that we're birthed into. It's the study of the consequences transmitted when missing the mark of natural law by living out of alignment from the spiritual soul's highest intention of love. Moving on to the biology, which is the matter and the sensing of the physical form. It's the witnessing of structure, function, growth, origin, evolution, and the cellular distribution of living organisms over time. From there, psychology, or the mind or thinking, the analytical reflection on the mental thought process of an individual mind that respectively generates a pattern of variable biological behaviors influencing the recurrent repercussions on the matter of metazoans, or multicelled animals. From there, sociology, the behavior or action, the observation of behavioral human relationships via the context of diverse community interactions, influencing changes in stability on the environmental conditioning of the assembled beings over time. And from there, philosophy, or the reason or the meaning, which is the pursuit of wisdom, methods, conducts, principles, truth, language, knowledge, reality, existence, discipline, and fundamental natural law itself. Moving on to the states of awareness of the mind or the mental field itself. We begin with cosmology, which some refer to as the Big Bang, also known as the Word. The origin, development, structure, history, and future of the entire universe. After that, pneumatology, referring to the breath or the spirit, the influence of the Holy Spirit, receiving, filling, and identifying it. Spirituality is next, which is belief or the application, the reverent sacred existence of an applied personal meaning or belief, both embodied and anchored by the principled practice of honoring an inherent moral code of divine purpose while valuing faith in the law known most high. After that is prophecy, which is like manifestation and the actualization, the inspired declaration of one's divine will and purpose. After that is theology, which is the skill or the discipline. It's an intrinsic, intuitive comprehension of essential fundamental practices, providing enlightened revelations of cultivated paradigms to transmute cultural traditions of natural intellectual instinct. And finally, moving on to the ascended states of spiritual awareness. Like, think of it as the etheric playground beyond the mental field of one's personal self. We begin with syncretology, which is attuning or aligning. It's the merging or assimilation of several originally discrete contradictions, now asserting an underlying unity and allowing for an inclusive approach to simultaneously operate synergistically. From there to receptology, which is like the listening or the receiving. It's a multidimensional field of which plasma receptors connect the cells with their environment and transmit signals that are translated into biological information. And lastly, faithology. Think of it as a trust or a knowing, a deep inherent knowing beyond belief that every intuitively guided move works in your favor. When applying these ascended states of awareness to real life, we have to begin with questioning. So it always usually starts with harmatology, which is a sense that we have failed. We begin asking ourselves, what's wrong? Even when we walk into a room, we can sense that something's wrong. A lot of times we tend to avoid this sensing and we don't move into the biology and actually feel what's going on, which is when we really find the emotion. What is the feeling that we're feeling? So that then we can psychologically analyze it and find the event that triggered it. Next, move into the sociology where we can fault it or give it reason. What caused the mental break or the breakdown in this sensing? From there is the philosophy. We get to fact it. We get to actually really feel the fear and find, was it true? Are we really afraid of something, or is this just uncomfortable? After that is the cosmology, where we get to formulate or create a new meaning by asking what is the missing meaning that's needed or the missing emotion that is needed. Then to pneumatology, where we fuel it. We access the breath. Why not take that breath in now in order to move on spiritually so we can forgive it or provide a salvation, a path to freedom, or to free the dome of our head, and get out of our mental loop. After that, we move into prophesizing, where we face it. It's the deliverance, the best expression of what we need to air out. And then theology, where we can focus on the recalibration of where to. And then we have to synchronize or practice the syncretology of it by fusing the alignment of our own parts within our system and really ask who's in with this forward movement. After that is moving on to receptology, where we fine-tune our own listening, asking what's next of our higher self. And then faithology, where we flow forward. It's the revival. It's the knowing that we are in the moment of the here and now. We are listening and we are responding and we are trusting in that inherent guidance. By recognizing the sense of our own discomfort and allowing ourselves to feel first, we align to the truth of our biology and accept that our default conscious mind is only one part of a greater awareness, where we can harness the awareness of that awareness and voluntarily dissociate by becoming the observer of the entire system. When we acknowledge our emotions and allow ourselves to feel them, we can generate a feeling using thought after we recognize the initial response. But knowing how to use the subconscious system can aid in processing a feeling before or after a thought triggers, without having to force a thought change by simply putting our matter over mind. This subconscious shift offers a moment for the body to recuperate without mental or emotional overload or burnout. The task gets passed through the conscious mind for meaning and to the spiritual mind for observation. Allowing ourselves to feel creates a space for conscious thought to be held, meaning to be reviewed, and an applied identity to be confirmed or rejected only on the basis that it serves the spiritual mind's divine purpose of the whole and higher self. Now that we have reviewed the ascended states of awareness, let's do a mental reset and put the human foundation back in the correct order, beginning with the biology or the body, which receives and emits sensations of frequency, then on to the psychology or the mental mind, which generates a charged thought or an impulsive reaction, and lastly on to the sociology and the higher states of conscious awareness, which confirms or denies the defined meaning or identity. Ultimately, this ensures the advanced states of the conscious mind to remain 1. The last to receive these emotional cues, 2. Stay aware of, witness, acknowledge the emotional body and mental thoughts, and grant meanings that service the higher self, and 3. A victim of the subconscious mind until and unless it gains inherent trust via restoring personal integrity. This means that if a breath of paused conscious awareness happens long enough to calculate feeling first and fact second, regulation of a rational response can be given in exchange. If consistent repetition of working these calculations through feel first, fact second, and then decisions be made to serve the highest good for the body, mind, and soul, as well as the surrounding environment. Over time, the internal agreements valued between body, mind, and soul will have met with repeated proof of safety and minimal exposure to self-betrayal or self-sabotaging shame, thus resulting in the possibility of intuitive responses to continually activate versus impulsive reactions, such as the whole body, mind, and soul aligning to courageously face truly difficult situations at hand going forward. It's a blessing to know that after we recognize an emotional disruption, we can use conscious thought to generate the feeling of a higher frequency within the body to better play the game. It's even better to know that the shadow walk gives you an exact blueprint of your personal playbook of who, what, when, where, how, and why your current state of being triggers your dormant life theme identity. However, when doing the deep work of excavating shadow patterns, the after effect is not where we are headed. We must slow down enough to unearth additional past pattern beliefs, feel through present frequencies, and shift future focus to aim higher in the now. The clarity of retrospective linear life view the shadow self offers the conscious mind is a new feeling that offers a compassionate knowing of thy other self, the shadow self, or the subconscious mind. The compassionate understanding that unfolds as we merge the minds lightens the body, which soothes and neutralizes both emotional reaction and intrusive thought patterns before they activate. The mind and body are now working together to emit a frequency of safety from within. This inherent, secure state of being gives pause long enough to strategically activate new rules of engagement with the external environment by way of feeling. So, how do we feel? By breathing in purpose. To invoke or call forth feeling from the sensory receptors, we must in exchange offer breath. The feeling reveals itself on the exhale, thus allowing emotional feelings and thought frequencies to process by flowing through the system of sense while standing fully at the helm of your vessel. When the whole self, conscious thought and subconscious frequency run as one, you recognize you are not the mind, body, or soul. This is your machinery, a meaning-making machine offering feedback to best create the identity needed for your divine purpose. Take care of it, because you exist within it. You are the master of authority and the identity within it by way of the breath. You are breath itself, the authority, the observer, the witness, the validation of your personal existence, the etheric space, and the reflection of this in others. This awareness of breath alone simultaneously harnesses the power to handle it, whatever it is, be it frequency, vessel, thought, circumstance, being, etc. The truth is, you are what you invoke yourself to be as the flow of breath feels moving through you, not just as a repeated verbal affirmation. When breath is inhaled or internally hailed, it is designed to serve and exhale as a secure state, authentic delivery, expanded awareness, and master of authority. The confirmation of breath is proof, now fully present. By being full of the whole Spirit, or Holy Spirit, breath of self, the merging minds become effortless and enjoyable. The intrusive loops and internal conversations between thoughts and feelings of the false impostors running rampant in the head silence themselves. For the breath of spirit has taken charge, and the vessel serves in honor of life's biological purpose, first to feel, taste, smell, touch, hear, speak, and see, thus bringing life to the spiritual soul's divine purpose. Emotions, or energy in motion, now flows through the vessel without sparking impulsive reaction before, during, or after the calibration process. The life theme, while there, remains at guard and only acts when called upon. You will continue to call upon it because both consciously and subconsciously, it, like the vessel, is there to serve a higher purpose and reveal where boundaries are necessary in every moment of now. When we live with integrated breath, our ability to listen strengthens, and an intuitive guidance via a whisper becomes the new GPS system. Dreams are born, the air is fresh, and focused vision is clear. This is where actualization manifests with ease. Our life's work is to continually keep the vessel clear so inspiration can fill the vessel and live within. This subconscious shift is what the state of I am refers to. As the flow of emotion consistently completes, our state of being naturally attunes our alignment without the pushback of mental or emotional overload and burnout. This is what shadow work offers, and why knowing how to strategically navigate the excavation of feeling is so enlightening. With this enlightenment, protection from false fears is futile. Remember, your energy existed before you came and will exist long after your body expires. If only the body which the soul frequency moves through could grasp that our spirit needs no ultimate protection. Instead, it needs the experience of received feeling and interpreted meaning to be better translated between the body and brain, allowing the spirit to be fully present and aware during the meaning-making process before a final decision cements itself within the system and further obstructs the flow of future frequencies. We just have to train your body and being to know that protection from the ultimate mind is unnecessary. When I say train, I don't mean push. Push causes resistance, and if pushed too hard, your body will fight back. This is why you're here, because you've pushed for so long, you're experiencing stagnant energy and things are bubbling up from within. This means we must first emotionally excavate through the compacted mess and feel. Feel what you have not yet allowed yourself to experience the emotional labor of. In the end, your body will trust you in holding the labor of this pain and will respond in kind by decompressing itself to provide space, leaving no buttons left to trigger and no bells to be alarmed. In exchange, your body will feel lighter and more willing to work without resistance. From this state of less resistance, the body feels excited, the mind more creative, and work feels like play. When work becomes play, the body is inherently inspired to act without external force or motivation. As we move closer toward your shadow session, it's important that since we're going to be going back and reviewing quite a bit of your past, I want you to get used to just simply starting with today and today's reflections. I want you to take a moment and reflect on your thoughts. You'll find they all trace back to a feeling that a thought responded to. What was a thought you had? What feeling generated the thought? And what circumstance generated the feeling?